Dick York, who rose to fame as Darrin Stephens in the popular sitcom Bewitched, is remembered not only for his acting talent, but also for the tragedies in his life. So what happened to Dick York, and what was his tragic end? Discover the touching story of his life and career in this video. Early life and career. Dick York, born September 4, 1928, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA, is one of the most famous and influential actors in the American television industry, especially with the role of Darrin Stephens in the legendary sitcom Bewitched, 1964 to 1969. His career spanned decades and not only left an impression on the audience with his humorous role, but also stood out for his ability to convey emotional depth through each character he portrayed. The audience loved York not only for his natural acting ability, but also for the sincerity and empathy he brought to each role. Although famous for a fixed role, Dick York's career also contained many challenging stories and important turning points, which added to the interest in his life and work. Before landing this memorable role, Dick York began his acting career very early, in the 1950s, when he appeared in television shows and movies. At first, his roles were not leading roles, but rather supporting or guest roles, and these projects did not bring him immediate fame. However, York did not falter. Instead, he persistently sought out better opportunities. Even though he started slowly, he always maintained his faith in his abilities and gradually accumulated experience to prepare for bigger opportunities in the future. He appeared in many popular television shows of that era, such as The Millionaire in 55 to 60, where he appeared in several episodes. Although these roles did not leave a deep impression on the audience, they were an important stepping stone for him to get acquainted with the entertainment industry. In addition, Dick York also had the opportunity to participate in movies, of which They Came to Cordura, 1959, was one of the outstanding works. In this film, he appeared with big names such as Gary Cooper, one of the icons of American cinema at that time. Although this was only a small role, it helped York prove his acting ability and start to build a name for himself in the film industry. The first years of his career can be considered challenging for Dick York. However, his perseverance and efforts were not in vain when big opportunities began to come. Small roles and television shows helped him gradually build the prestige and trust of producers and directors. It was his careful preparation and relentless hard work that helped York rise and achieve success, especially in his later famous role in Bewitched. However, York's career exploded when he landed the role of Darrin Stephens in Bewitched. Dick York's notable career. The role of Darrin Stephens in the sitcom Bewitched, 1964 to 1969, was a major turning point in Dick York's career, making him one of the prominent faces of American television. Darrin Stephens was an ordinary man, an advertising executive who married Samantha, a witch with supernatural powers. This character created a harmonious combination of humor and drama while reflecting family relationships, love, and the conflict between two very different worlds. With his genuine, emotional acting and natural humor, York brought a special depth to the character of Darrin. Despite the bizarre situations created by this witch wife, Darrin always maintained the role of a normal man trying to maintain family life, creating moments that were both funny and touching. This helped him create a special harmony between humor and drama, making the character of Darrin Stephens an icon of the sitcom genre in the 1960s. Bewitched became one of the most successful sitcoms of that era, with a total of 8 seasons and 254 episodes. The popularity of the show not only helped Dick York make his mark in the television industry, but also had a profound influence on later sitcoms. This work opened a new era in American television, contributing to the definition of normal characters facing unusual situations while still maintaining charm and humor. This success comes not only from creating an impressive character, but also thanks to the combination of seemingly opposite elements which York skillfully portrayed throughout the work. Before and after becoming famous with Bewitched, Dick York had the opportunity to try many other roles, showing the diversity of his acting talent. One of the notable roles was in The Twilight Zone, a show famous for its thrilling and unexpected stories. Here, York demonstrated his ability to convey emotions and subtle tension in seemingly bizarre situations. His appearance in The Twilight Zone also proved York's versatility when participating in different genres, not just framing the image of a funny man in a sitcom. He also appeared in many other television shows, including The Danny Thomas Show, one of the most popular comedy shows of the 1950s and 1960s. These roles, although not as memorable as Darrin's Bewitched role, were still an important part of York's career, proving that he was a versatile actor who could bring out the best in any character he played. Despite his huge success with Bewitched, Dick York's career after this show was difficult. After leaving the show due to health problems, York faced many challenges in finding new opportunities. The TV shows and films he appeared in after that did not achieve the same success as before. In addition, his health problems also seriously affected his ability to continue participating in the entertainment industry. York suffered from chronic back pain, which forced him to withdraw from television for a long time. Despite this, Dick York is still recognized as one of the most talented actors of that era, and his role as Darrin Stephens has forever left an indelible mark on audiences. His journey is a testament to his dedication and relentless effort in his artistic career, despite the difficulties he faced. Along with his career, Dick York's personal life was quite complicated and not without challenges. Although he was widely known for his role as Darrin Stephens in Bewitched, his personal life was not easy. Marriage and family. Dick York and his wife, Joan, got married in the 1950s and had 3 children during their marriage. The couple spent many years together, raising their children and sharing the joys and sorrows of life. However, their marriage was not smooth and faced many challenges, especially due to Dick York's deteriorating health, which put a strain on their relationship. Even while participating in Bewitched, Dick had to deal with severe back pain due to an injury sustained during filming. The pain not only affected his physical health, but also had a strong impact on his family life. The helplessness and fatigue from his health problems made Dick irritable, sad, and rarely able to participate in family activities. This not only made him feel bad, but also put a great mental burden on his wife, Joan. Dick's health problems were not only physical, but also created tension in the couple's relationship. Living with chronic pain, Dick was sometimes unable to fulfill his responsibilities to his family. Joan, although loving her husband, could not help but feel tired and pressured when having to take care of the children and shoulder the worries of life at the same time. Dick's job did not help the situation. Health problems forced him to leave Bewitched earlier than expected, which not only dealt a blow to his career, but also created additional stress in the family. As Dick felt dissatisfied with his career situation and was unable to provide a stable source of income for the family, Joan also faced financial and emotional pressures as her husband's health continued to deteriorate and he was unable to participate in work as before. However, throughout that difficult time, Joan was always by Dick's side, caring for and supporting him through the painful days. Although she could not change her husband's health condition, Joan's love and patience were a great source of encouragement for Dick, helping him overcome some of the difficulties in his personal life. However, the persistent health problems and stress in family life still left their mark on their relationship, making their marriage inevitably have ups and downs. Retirement and life after Bewitched. After leaving Bewitched in 1969, Dick York faced many difficulties both financially and professionally. His health, which had been severely affected by a back injury and long-term physical problems, prevented him from continuing to participate in large projects or play influential roles as before. Although he tried to return to the film and television industry with several small roles, these efforts could not help him regain his lost position. The roles he accepted after Bewitched were mainly guest roles in television shows and small films. But due to his poor health, he could not maintain a tight work schedule or participate in large projects, leading to a serious decline in his career. It was Dick York's long-term health problems that greatly hindered him, preventing him from taking advantage of new career opportunities. While his colleagues and friends continued their careers, Dick struggled with chronic pain and fatigue. Surgery and therapy for his back injuries did not fully restore him, and he lived in constant pain. In addition to his physical difficulties, his inability to participate in major projects also left him feeling frustrated and depressed. Dick York's family life was no better. The years after leaving Bewitched were not easy for him and his family. Although his wife, Joan, and children remained by his side to care for and support him, Dick's health continued to decline. Back pain, combined with heart and nerve problems, prevented him from participating in normal family activities, which added to the stress and anxiety in their relationship. Joan, despite her strong will and love for her husband, had to shoulder most of the household chores, care for the children, and manage everything while Dick struggled with his illness. In addition, the family's financial situation became more difficult. Although Dick York had previously had a prominent career, after leaving Bewitched, he was unable to maintain a stable income. The lack of finances became a huge burden, preventing him from focusing on his treatment or finding new career opportunities. His family shared that Dick York's final days were very difficult, as he faced not only physical pain, but also disappointment and sadness that his career could not be revived. Dick York's life after Bewitched was not only a long series of health and financial challenges, but also a journey to face the loneliness and pain of not being able to continue the career he loved. However, despite the countless difficulties he encountered, he remained a resilient and determined man, always finding ways to live life to the fullest, even in difficult circumstances. However, behind the success on screen is an extremely arduous battle with health. Have you ever wondered how the personal and health challenges of a big star like Dick York affected their career? Let's find out about the difficulties he faced throughout his career. Dick York's health difficulties. Dick York's health had serious problems during the filming of Bewitched. During the early years of the show, York began to experience severe back pain, a serious problem that he carried with him for most of his life. According to information from reliable sources, this back pain originated from an injury during filming. Specifically, in 1959, while filming the movie They Came to Cordura, York suffered a minor accident that injured his back. Although there were no immediate serious symptoms, this accident had long-term consequences. As time went on, the pain got worse and began to affect his ability to work. York's back pain became increasingly severe while filming Bewitched. While filming the hit sitcom, the need to perform scenes that required strength and strong movements made his condition worse. The back pain, combined with other health problems, became an obsession for him throughout the filming process. This not only affected his work, but also reduced Dick York's quality of life, causing him to face mental and physical difficulties in his daily work. As Dick York's health worsened, he began to feel unable to continue working at the high intensity that the show required. The back pain became increasingly severe and uncontrollable, seriously affecting his ability to work. After 6 seasons of Bewitched, York was forced to leave the show in 1969. Despite the love and acceptance of the audience, his physical pain made it impossible for him to continue participating in the show. At that time, doctors advised him to rest and receive treatment to avoid the condition becoming more serious. When he left Bewitched, Dick York did not take a long break. Instead, he began a series of surgeries and treatments to try to reduce his pain and improve his health. However, despite undergoing many treatments, from physical therapy to surgery, his health never fully recovered. The pain continued to haunt him throughout the following years, leaving him tired. His poor health greatly affected Dick York's mood and spirit, causing him to gradually become desperate in finding new career opportunities. Not only that, the inability to continue participating in major projects in the entertainment industry also caused York financial and family difficulties. He faced many challenges in maintaining his career and personal life. Although there were times when he received support from friends and colleagues, his health was still the biggest obstacle in returning to the entertainment industry he loved. In the end, Dick York had to face a heartbreaking truth. His health could not recover and affected the last years of his life. Death of Dick York. Dick York died on February 20th, 1992, at the age of 63 after a long battle with illness. His death was the result of a long period of poor health, and the main cause was determined to be lung cancer. This was a disease that York had faced after many years of smoking, a habit that he had maintained for most of his life. Despite his efforts to treat and fight previous illnesses, developing lung cancer was one of the serious problems that he could not overcome. Dick York started smoking at a very young age, and this habit continued with him for many years. Despite his increasingly poor health, York was unable to give up smoking, which led to serious consequences for his lungs and his health later in life. The lung cancer he suffered from became an increasingly serious problem in his later years, as his health deteriorated due to previous problems such as chronic back pain and unsuccessful surgeries. In the final months of his life, York underwent intense surgery and treatment, but his condition did not improve. Doctors diagnosed him with terminal lung cancer, and he struggled with the disease until his death. Although his passing was inevitable, Dick York's death was still a huge shock to his family, friends, and fans. Although he has long since left the screen, Dick York remains a deeply influential figure to those who loved him as Darrin Stephens on Bewitched. His career, though short and troubled, is still highly regarded and remembered by his fans. When the news of his death was announced, many colleagues and fans were shocked and saddened by the loss of a great talent who could not overcome the difficulties in life and health. With the death of Dick York, the American television industry lost an actor who was able to combine humor with emotional depth, creating a character like Darrin Stephens that no one could replace. He was not only an important part of Bewitched, but also a model of resilience in the face of great challenges in life. Although his life was not without its hardships and tragedies, the legacy that Dick York left in the hearts of audiences and colleagues will forever be remembered. Dick York's legacy. The legacy that Dick York has left behind in the American television business is enormous, even though his life was filled with sorrow and difficulty. The profound impression that he left on the hearts of viewers and subsequent generations of artists was the one that he made with his performance as Darrin Stephens in the renowned comedy Bewitched, which ran from 1964 to 1969. During the 1960s, Bewitched was not only one of the most popular television programs of the decade, but it also marked a significant turning point in the evolution of the sitcom genre. Dick York was able to create a character with a level of depth that not everyone is capable of, thanks to his ability to skillfully blend comedy and pathos. As a paradigm of harmony between the paradoxes of regular life and the unusual events that a witch family might offer, Darrin Stephens, an average guy who lives with a witch's wife, is a model of harmony. through his ability to establish a presence that was not only appealing and accessible, but also meaningful in his performances. Dick York pioneered the path for humorous and emotional characters to be portrayed in sitcoms. Before the release of Bewitched, the protagonists of sitcoms were frequently only humorous characters who had any psychological depth. Dick York, on the other hand, brought about a transformation by developing a character model that was not only hilarious, but also profoundly human. The popularity of Bewitched had a direct impact on subsequent comedies, and characters such as Darrin Stephens formed the basis for other comedy characters, not just in the 1960s, but also for decades to come. Both of these developments occurred simultaneously. Even though Dick York passed away in 1992, his colleagues, admirers, and many generations of artists continue to remember him with reverence and affection. The people who worked with him in the entertainment world will always remember him with respect, not just because of his brilliance, but also because of the commitment he had to the trade. The expertise of Dick York and his enthusiasm for the art he worked on are always at the center of the stories that are told about him behind the scenes. Dick York's passion for playing was something he never gave up, and he always displayed excitement in each of his parts, even though his health was bad during his later years. There is never a shortage of tributes from fans. He is still remembered by many who grew up watching Bewitched as an essential component of their youth and as a significant contributor to their recollections of calm times on the tiny screen. Stories about his work and personal hardships further add to the affection that fans have for Dick York. Not only was he a television star, but he was also a model of tenacity and mental fortitude in the face of illness and the challenges that life presented. Therefore, fans have a lot of respect for Dick York. It is important to note that Dick York was not only a well-known actor, but also a genuine artist who made substantial contributions to the growth of the television business in the United States. His legacy included not only the characters that he played that would be remembered for a long time, but also the principles of persistence, love of acting, and enthusiasm for the arts. Do you remember the first time you watched Bewitched? And what was your impression of Dick York's character Darrin Stephens? We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.